Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Grumpy Vlogger, where
Yeah.
your intellect will be heightened. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Hope you
Hey.
enjoy. Hope you have a good week this week.
Mm.
I'm smoking a cigar now, or a cigar. I'm smoking a pipe, so
Cigar.
try. Yeah, try to sound more intellectual.
Intellectual.
Okay,
Yeah,
that lasted for what, about 6 seconds, 5 seconds? And then
yeah,
you gave up, right? Good
yeah. I couldn't do it
evening,
any
ladies
longer.
and gentlemen. To hell with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, welcome to the show. Another fun-filled week of the Grumpy Vlogger. We're
Yep.
having some good
Woo-hoo.
conversations before the show. But before I get started, this time I'm going to make sure I do it. I am going to say hello to all those in the chat.
Yeah.
Grant, Mr. S, thank you, mate.
Yep.
Connecticut Pirate, welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's John.
John, I know that. Mark R. White, which I just saw a few minutes ago. Thank you
Yep.
for letting me know Paul's finished. So let's
Yeah.
see. Who else we got here? Oh, Cam Joe America.
Yep.
Hey, Joe. And we got Arco Drone Solution. We got Ed,
Yeah.
COWPG Drone Live. Just saw him a few minutes ago, too. Uh, and Brenda Sunstar. Welcome, welcome.
Yep.
And I think that's it for tonight, or for now,
That's it.
anyway.
Yep.
Yep, yep. It's a slow night. So,
Yeah. Slow night.
well, it's kind of, we got nasty weather coming in here in Muskogee. It rained all weekend. And then it was kind of sunny today and nice, comfortable temperatures, low 70s.
Right.
And now it's all started coming back in again. So,
Mm.
but anyways, so
Mm.
yeah, keeps going out. That's the problem with the pipe. They keep going out. You know?
Yep.
Is it the pipe or is it that shit tobacco you bought?
Yeah.
Probably the shit tobacco I bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Mm-hmm.
mean
Yeah.
that pipe will break in and then it'll
Oh,
smoke.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's still in the break-in stage. I haven't even got a good ring of fire in it yet.
Ring of fire.
I
yeah,
know.
Ring of
He popped right in my head, Art. As soon as
and
you said that. As soon as you said that.
as soon as I said it, I thought, well, that wasn't what I. Anyways, the
Burn,
edging you get
burn,
around the inside of
burn,
a. I fell into a burning ring of
ring of
fire,
fire,
down, 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 and the flames
flame
went higher.
higher, and it burn, 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 the
Burn,
ring of fire.
ring of fire,
Yep.
ring of fire.
Yep.
Anyways, almost.
I've had that after a particularly spicy Mexican meal.
Yeah,
Right.
I was dealing with that this weekend because Saturday was my youngest grandson here in Oklahoma. It was his 18th birthday. He's the
Ooh,
one who's
nice.
autistic. We went out to he likes to go to this one Mexican restaurant, so we went there and I got uh uh tacos de carne asada and just really enjoyed it. Uh but
Sounds
I had
delicious.
run out of my Nexium, so it didn't enjoy me. I didn't
No,
enjoy as much
no.
later on in the evening, but I'm doing better now. And I still had some I had last night for supper, so
Oh, that's good.
yeah, it's really
Hi,
good.
Brian.
But
Brian.
Hi,
hey,
Brian.
Bryan,
Hi, Brenda. Hi,
Brenda.
Mark.
No,
Mark. Glenn.
Grant.
Grant. Joe.
Where's Joe?
He's way up there.
way up there, yeah.
Oh, there he is. Yep, there he is.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Yeah, I
Mhm.
said hi to him. So, uh, but anyway, so yeah,
Mhm.
kind of dealt with that ring of fire too, because I
Ah.
used that damned asada sauce before. That stuff is nothing but pure fire.
Mhm.
It's like, and I know better, but boy, it just is just the right kicker
Right.
for the tacos. But
What does the word asada mean?
I don't
Carne
know.
is
I
meat.
mean,
Carne
yeah,
is
carne
meat.
is meat.
Asada.
The asada is it's. I have no idea. I know that they give you this sauce with it that you do not get with fajitas. Of course, obviously, uh, taco.
Well, speaking
I
of
have to look
fire,
up.
that word starts with ass.
Yeah,
So,
it does. Yeah,
maybe it's
Azu- A- Azada gonna hurt when it comes out.
Yeah.
it oughta.
Yeah, it oughta. Yeah, yeah.
We're
It's
funny.
yeah. So, but yeah, I had a good dinner with them and stuff. And then today, I went over to the I took my oldest son had to get out and get him some tobacco and stuff.
Bother you? I'm sorry. Does this bother you, Mark? Mark's complaining. People do this on my stream every week. Eat something.
Yeah.
Bag of chips. Right into the microphone.
Right. Yeah.
There. It's annoying, huh?
No.
Okay, I
Bless
apologize.
her heart.
Please continue.
Alexis, fell asleep on your show Saturday night.
Yeah.
I know.
Woke up,
She
Yeah.
didn't snore.
yeah, well, she woke up just before the show was over, or just after it was over. I'm not sure which. We ended up her and I ended up staying on there talking until it shut us off. Then she called me on the phone, and it was 1 o'clock or more before we got off there.
Wow.
She just had to talk, and I just listened, And,
Oh, that's good.
She did say that he's out on a regular floor now. She texted me today and said yesterday they put him out on a regular floor. So,
Well, they ran out of beds.
well,
It's
hard to
put him on the floor.
put him on the regular floor. Yeah. They put him out on the floor because they didn't have any beds. Yeah,
irregular floor. Yeah.
They needed the bed, so they put him out on the floor.
On
So,
the floor. There you go. That's a cost savings. That's
I bet they don't reflect in their hospital bill though. They'll still charge him. They'll charge him $200 a night for just the friggin' floor.
I'd imagine more.
Yeah.
I'd imagine more. My little overnight stay for this thing here that I had done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the whole hospital bill, which includes the surgery, but still over $180,000.
$180,000.
Yeah.
Judy,
I was only there overnight, basically.
Judy's time in ICU, that was close to $350,000 is what that bill come up to.
Yeah.
But hello,
Hey,
Mel.
Yeah. Hey, Lloyd, I've got a video that I just put out.
I just noticed that, so let me add that.
Show us the video, Artie.
Show us the video, Artie.
Alrighty, I hope.
Radio video. Boogie with a suitcase. Y'all living in a disco. Forget about the rat race. Let's do the milkshake and sell it like a hotcake. Try some, buy some, beat by four. Talk about house music. Talk about.
I'm
Awesome.
I'm a little sadder than I was a minute ago. Is that supposed to be funny? Seeing a disabled person dancing with a, I just
watched the video. Guy in a walker who's even more fucked up than I am. He's doing it. And I'm
I don't like laughing at people like that. I'm a nice guy. Yeah.
What it is, and I know Art doesn't want to say it. Art doesn't want to say this. He's not one to toot his own horn. But
what?
Yeah, he's actually that was his promo video. He's trying out for the Gimp Olympics.
Gimp Olympics, yep.
It rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Or the lips. Gimp
Olympics.
I could run faster than Brad Williams. Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
He's got those short little legs and that
short little legs, and
head. God, what?
Yeah, he's like melon. Yeah, he says it too. I mean,
he's got a freaking melon. Oh boy.
I'm gonna bet he can run twice as fast as you.
I don't know. I've seen him run on stage, and he
scoots.
Yeah, he does.
I've never seen Artie run.
No,
that's true.
Yeah.
But Artie has skateboarded.
Don't have a need to. It's except
you live in Denver and you don't have a need to run.
Yeah.
Everybody comes to me. What am I going to run to?
Right.
Shake your head when you say it, Artie.
The ring of fire.
It's getting there. I'm actually right now. I'm smoking a Paladin. I did find Walgreens sells pipe tobacco still.
Oh, okay.
And so I got me some Captain Black because it's rich black Cavendish and mellow tasting Burleys. It's
Nice.
aromatic as well as like,
Uh.
and they're all these pouches look similar. They just got different names on them because they're all put out by the Scandinavian Tobacco Company,
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
made in
Burgundy,
Denmark.
Bergen.
Now, why in the hell are we importing tobacco into the
Yeah.
United States when we got the whole southeast down there that grows tobacco?
That's right.
Mm.
That's just
Yeah.
wrong, you know.
I think it's because of the
Nothing
they
wrong
put
with it.
Bergen in it.
They're
That's
just,
what
they're
makes
just
it
looking for
special.
new markets. That actually has been around a long time.
It has been
Mhm.
Captain Black has been for
Yeah.
that. There was that, and there was another one. Oh, Bugler, and
They
what I
they
remember. of
import our
Bugler-
bourbons and scotch over into Scotland and England and like that. You know,
That's true. That's
they,
true.
they do. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't have a
All
problem
world
with that.
trade. Yeah, as long as
Don't have a problem with
Yeah,
them
one of the
selling their
things-
poison to us.
that's one of the things they talk about for cleaning
That's
out
deep.
the bowl when you want to do a deep clean is
Mhm.
use a really good bourbon,
No.
high alcohol.
Oh.
Oh yeah. It
Oh,
said not only will it help clean it out, but it leaves a nice aftertaste in the wood.
Okay.
yeah. Right.
Mhm.
I don't have any bourbon, so I do. I have a bottle. I have a half pint of Jack Daniels with honey.
Mm.
That's been in the ice box now for probably 15 years. My doctor told me to take that instead of cough syrup.
Mm.
I took one shot of that and I thought I was going to die. I can't believe I ever drank that crap on a regular
But you
basis.
didn't die, so the doctor must have been up. He must have been right or something.
He must have been
He
right.
had
It didn't kill
something
me,
there.
but boy, I felt like it, and I never touched it again. I can't even.
Ah.
Yeah,
What was it?
Fireball.
Jack
what kind-
Daniels,
I
Jack
love
Daniels
Fireball.
with honey.
Oh, Jack Honey.
Yeah, Jack and honey. Yeah,
That you had a hard time with that?
I didn't like the taste of it.
Wow! Don't let the beard fool you. He's a woman. Just saying.
I used to drink a quart of Jack Daniels a day when I was drinking.
Well, who didn't?
Yeah.
If I didn't have it when I was in the service, if I didn't have a shot or two by the 10 o'clock, I had to take the morning breakfast break and run over there and get.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely had a problem.
yeah.
Mhm.
I like a drink too, but I don't. I don't need to have
No,
one. I need to have one now because you've been talking about it for 5 minutes.
Go right ahead.
I'm going to get some bourbon.
Bourbon.
It's actually whiskey. It's a blend. Gonna get some
Okay.
whiskey. It's flavored, and I'm going to drink it.
Neat.
Well, I put ice in it, but I drink it so fast ice doesn't melt. And I'm gonna handle it like the man that I am.
Yeah.
There
But
you
Bill,
go.
it's a school night. You can't have it on a school night.
Jack Apple's good, by the way. Or Jack Honey, I mean. Actually, the Apple's good
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
The Donny's good. They got Jack Fire. Less crazy about the Jack Fire is cinnamon. Obviously, it's like what do you call that shit? That real
Yeah.
popular.
Right, Bill. I have not offered you a drink of my Jack Daniels.
If you mix Jack Daniels with Smirnoff, would that be Jack off?
I don't know.
No,
Artie, you tell me.
But if
What do you know of this
if
subject?
Olive, Bill.
slow gin,
Yeah.
Southern Comfort,
Yeah.
vodka and orange juice,
Right.
you get a slow, comfortable screw.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. that's right.
Which is true because you start with a screwdriver, which is vodka and orange juice,
Right?
and then you
Right.
add the slow to it.
Slow
And then you have
Southern
a
Comfort.
slow
Southern
screw,
Comfort. Yeah.
and then
Use Southern Comfort.
And then,
right,
yeah.
slow
and then
comfortable
I
screw.
just-
And if you put a little Galliano, and it's called, it becomes like part almost a wall banger. So they call that a slow comfortable screw against the wall.
Ah,
It's actually a drink, believe it or not. And girls, people invented this stuff for a reason. Women walk up to the bar and say, "I'd like a slow comfortable screw against the wall."
the
Uh-huh.
bartender says, "Well, wait 15 minutes and I get off."
Yeah.
And then I'd like an orgasm, which is another progression drink. You know, you get a little cream, and then you added amaretto, and it became a toasted almond. And you did Kahlua cream with amaretto as a toasted almond. Then you had the vodka, and that's when it became an orgasm. Yeah, just to add more stuff, the name gets nastier. But I'll be right back.
Oh,
We'll be here.
we'll
I'm
be
realizing
here.
I'm forgetting my drink recipes. I'm getting old. I bartended so many years ago. Screaming orgasm. I'm not familiar with the screaming orgasm ever, unfortunately. But please explain what you mean by that. What's a screaming orgasm?
Mm.
And again, I wish I knew, but continue.
Hello, Randy.
Not a thing that's happened.
And we got Dusty.
Oh, Dusty,
And,
East Coast Thrill.
I've had a giggling orgasm
mm.
where she was kind of laughing at the end. I couldn't understand.
Yep, you got those, Mark.
Slippery
Some
nipples. They're good.
Slippery nipple.
Sex on the beach.
The
Sounds like
cowboy.
a fake orgasm. You're right, Randy.
No, that's the one without the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Screaming orgasm. That's because she's letting the guys know it's safe to break in while you're in the bedroom. Oh, it's so good. I hope nobody's breaking in the front door. Oh. I could see that. What?
You need a drink.
All those valuables. What a shame, especially the one on the mantelpiece and the one. Oh, it's beautiful. That clock is supposed to be 300 years old, and the silverware in the third drawer from the left. Oh, you're so good. I'll be right back.
And the way we go, as Joe said.
And the way we go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I never really liked them, Grant. So, of course, I was never a fan of Southern Comfort. I started out drinking Jack and Coke, and then got tired of the Coke and just went straight to the Jack
went
Daniels.
straight to Jack.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, my dad was a fan of Evan Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My cousin would drink Evan Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad drank Jim Beam, or in the day, or on those days he couldn't afford it, he'd get Old Crow. That's some rot gut whiskey. Got some nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I used to do Rumple Mints with chocolate syrup and call it a chocolate peppermint. Yeah, that was pretty good. Even my folks liked it.
Yeah, the only other one now, tequila sunrises. I like those until I drank a couple too many, and I never want to be around tequila again. Well, I've been sitting there waiting on. I was waiting on my date at the bar. I was sitting up there, and I started ordering because she said she liked those, so I ordered one for myself, and I thought, well, what the hell? I drank about 4 or 5 of them.
Oh boy!
But I didn't get up. They weren't bothering me, and then she got up, and I went to stand up, and I hit the floor. I being a gentleman, I was standing up when she came to the table, and I just went, thump. Are you all right? I said, I don't think so. How many of those did you have? I said, I don't know, 5 or 6 so far. Oh my God. I hadn't eaten anything, so I had to order something to eat. It was on an empty stomach, I was just like,
yep, that'll do it. Then.
Yeah. This is before I met Judy. This was when I was dating. This is when I was dating the ugly wife.
Okay.
That's probably why I didn't really realize she was that ugly, because I'd been drinking a lot back then.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wearing beer bottle glasses. But anyway, so what's been going? What's the weather like up there, Art?
Well, it is partly cloudy, and we may get some rain this evening. And it's supposed to be, a chance of rain tomorrow. Yeah. Bacardi 151, coconut, ooh, caribou, ooh. Oh, okay.
I'm back. You guys can start, enjoying yourselves again.
Okay. Yeah, we missed you, Bill.
Yep.
My wife was in the kitchen. I was talking to her. She was asking, "What the heck is going on? You're
I
screaming
figured
like
she was
that."
going to ask, what in the hell were you yelling about?
Yeah.
What in the hell are you doing on that
He
show?
was being a bitch again, and I had to set him straight. I told her, we were just joking. Just joking. You know, I think I'm funny. I've been wrong. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
No, you
Bacardi 151 coconut, well, Malibu's coconut, pineapple juice, caribou. Yeah, I would like that. I mean, really, the 151, that's just to knock you out. You know what I mean? Bacardi 151 tastes like yick, in my opinion. You know, I mean, I like a nice stiff drink, but you know, when you get a too much above 100 proof, which is 50% alcohol, it just tastes like fucking alcohol that somebody threw some Kool-Aid in. Or
Right,
Yeah.
right.
you know what I mean? It's you know. Oh, I used to like to drink. What was it? It was 100% alcohol. What was that shit called? Come in a bottle. Clear.
Everclear.
Clear.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening. Clear.
Yeah.
Stuff will kill you, make you go blind. I mean, it's just that's just something you throw in a giant barrel with a whole bunch of oranges and grape juice.
Yeah.
And make a hairy buffalo punch. They used to call it.
Yeah, we got one on.
It's similar to rocket fuel over here.
Oh,
the
it's
day
just,
I-
why would you drink that? Why would you
my
drink?
last-
Why would you just
my last
inject it
day-
at that point? I'm sorry.
My last day on the base before I transferred out to California, all the guys were throwing me a big party, and they brought Everclear, and we made tons of fruit cocktail and threw in, like you said, all
Right.
mixed up. I still got so damn drunk. I was supposed to leave at 6 o'clock the next morning. I didn't even wake up until noon because I was driving out there. So it was like, oh my
Oh, it's
God.
good you slept. You didn't want to get in the car and 6
Yeah.
hours after that. You know,
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
but I think I passed out and they just put me to bed.
And I'll tell you, I'm not a vodka fan at all.
Uh-huh.
And I've drank it, and I've drank it straight up. In fact, college, that was my first drunk. Somehow I ended up with a whole bottle of vodka. Just walked around drinking a fucking bottle, and I was 18 and skinny. Well, for me, skinny. I was probably about 210, but 205, something like that. But anyway, oh, is that the worst thing? I mean, and you're not supposed to get hangovers of the clear liquors. That's the story. And it does give you less of a headache the next day, allegedly. I don't know if it's true or not. That's what they say. I don't like to argue with people. You know how agreeable I am. But anybody who likes vodka is just wrong. And I was upside down, hanging off the edge of the bed, like at 4 o'clock in the morning. Just discussing this very topic.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think, of course, I don't. Boone's Farm was probably one of my worst drunks. That's just
Which
because-
one? Which Boone's Farm?
Strawberry Hill.
Strawberry.
Oh yeah, they had the
Everybody-
apple. What was the apple one?
Oh, apple. Yeah. And then
They had all kinds of flavors. Boone's
Yeah,
Farm.
they had all kinds, but
raspberry.
yeah,
My girlfriend in high school used to make me buy that for her. See, when I was 18, it was legal
Yeah.
in
right.
New Jersey at the time. Like
right.
Yep. Same.
not the next year, but next year over, they made it 21. Yeah, but I was grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And I'd buy but I didn't do anything. But I'd buy myself. I'd buy beer, but she liked that Boone's Farm, and it worked for us, if you know what I mean. I'm not admitting to the public that I was getting a 16-year-old girl alcohol, by the way, when I was 18. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that happened.
Yeah, it was just 2 years different.
She liked this. She liked this aroma. I used to drink it and blow it in her face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just work her to death. So anyway, Boone's Farm is pretty good if you like juice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong, right? You don't feel like
get drunk on it. You'll never.
you don't feel like drinking straight liquor. So you don't even tired of beer. It's like those. There's a whole bunch of new drinks that are very crisp. I'll say.
Fuzzy Navel. That's
Yeah. Fuzzy Navel. That was my first. Yeah.
Where did you see Fuzzy Navel?
No, that's one of them. They make a wine cooler called Fuzzy Navel.
Or
you can make your own with peach schnapps and orange juice. Peach schnapps.
right, peach schnapps and orange. That's exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fuzzy Navel.
But,
Yeah. That's an old drink. I haven't heard anybody ask for that in a long time, but it's actually tasty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Most of my drinking.
Fuzzy navel.
Well, you don't get plowed on it unless, and here's the other role for vodka. Vodka is also a filler. I mean, you get fuzzy navel, but I want something a little stronger because the peach schnapps is only like 35 proof or whatever.
Right, right.
So you do half a shot or a shot of vodka in there, and that's what you do because it doesn't alter the flavor very much.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't.
Is that when you get
if it's a good vodka, shitty vodka, you'll take right away. Like, well, God, who put that?
So you put in a little bit of vodka and you got the orange juice. So I guess that gives you a fuzzy screw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll take it. That sucks. No, there was all kinds. I was explaining the drinks to my wife, and she thought they were funny.
Yeah, they they make a wine cooler because Judy would get it every so often. She'd get a fuzzy navel wine cooler. Drink.
Yeah, there's all kinds of them out there. No, I mean you got Truly, but Truly actually isn't a wine cooler, and it's not the other thing. The other ones are like beers. They're
right.
What do they fucking call? God damn it! Like claws.
Oh, White Claw.
Yeah, White Claw. Yeah, White Claw is a what?
It's a sparkling water.
Nah, that's not what it's called. It's something else.
It is.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a whole slew of those things out there. Truly isn't. Truly is actually vodka and juice.
Right,
and sparkling water. But it's actually a vodka based one. When those other ones are like beer. They're based on
Mm-hmm.
barley.
Like Mike's hard cider.
That's good.
Those
Twisted tea is good. There's all kinds of alternate, drinks like that are really good.
Right.
I like a hard cider. I do. And you know what I haven't had since I was a kid, which is a strange thing to say, is like a spiced cider in the wintertime, with they used to put a little something in there.
Mulled wine.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mulled wine is really good in the winter. It warms the insides up.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. What wine? They were talking.
M-U-L-L-E-D.
Right. Mulled wine. Yep.
Yeah.
And who could turn down a Dickens cider?
Mm-hmm. What? It is very, yes, I have tasted it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
No, we do have a.
Oh?
Yeah. It is real.
It is real.
Yes, it is real.
Made by Dickens. Dickens cider. Okay. I thought it was a joke.
You thought you were just telling a joke. Yeah. No, it's a real thing. Yeah.
I know you love cats, so it actually bothers me to see that animal right next to your food. And I'm a pet lover. My dog, I wouldn't care. Cats, filthy animals. If that thing slept on my chest when I was at night, I would die. I would probably have an asthma attack so severe.
Yep. Same here.
That you would be reading about me the next day. I think that cat. I mean, they used to say that there was a myth. I don't know if it was a myth because I think they are evil. They're evil spirits incarnate. But there was a myth that the cats used to kill children in the cribs by sucking the life out of them.
Yeah.
I think what they were doing, these fat ass 30-pound fucking house guys was just sitting on the kid's chest. Oh, I love you. You taste delicious. Oh, are you dead? Good. I'm hungry. So that's. But I'm sure none of this relates to that wonderful, beautiful creature that's whose ass.
Is it all black?
Next to your food.
Dom, is it an all black cat?
Yeah.
Boy, you push your luck, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm going to say you're not going to believe its name.
Midnight?
Vegemite.
Vegemite.
Mm-hmm.
It's another reason, and yet another reason not to like this animal. That's terrible.
I did not name the cat when it was given to us. I saw the name and had a good laugh.
That is fun. And don't get me wrong, cat videos, I've seen lots of them. And God, they're adorable. Look how cute those little things are.
Yeah.
And they do funny fucking things and this and that. It's only because really, because I can't be close to them. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm
me
close
too.
to dogs because I no compunction about rubbing their bellies or rubbing their ears, or I know all the spots and making them happy and making that tail wag. I love dogs. Dogs are I don't know. As far as a pet goes, to me, they're the best pet. They really are. I mean, one that actually takes some effort to take care of. I'm not talking about having a parakeet, that you change the paper and you throw food in their fucking cage, or a goldfish. Well, no, actually, they take a lot of work and care too. Everything does, I guess.
Yeah.
Except the parakeet.
Yep.
They're just a fake pet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dogs, they love you. You can do no wrong ever. They will, no matter what they're doing, they'll drop right now and come say hello to you when you walk through the door.
Yep.
It's just, how do you beat that? And they're being bad. You yell their name, they stop and they look at you.
Yeah.
They're
They
like
go back
kids.
to doing what they were doing.
What other pet does that? What are you gonna? You're gonna have a mongoose in your house?
Yeah.
That was not ferret. They look like mongoose. I don't know. I think it's small.
We had ferrets. Yeah.
Did you? Did you like them? How'd they taste?
I liked it when we had one. We had a white, an albino.
Yeah.
And that one was great. But then
describe that to me. What did it do that made it great?
It was just, it didn't smell bad like a lot of them do.
Right. They don't smell
The
bad.
males especially smell bad. She was a female.
My friend had one. So
He would, or she would get up and, curl around the neck. I could pet her like,
that's nice.
She'd come to us like our dog would,
Did she understand when you didn't
play
want her
with
on?
dogs.
Did she understand when you didn't want her on your neck? I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't grab her by the tail and slam it against the wall.
No, I'd pick her up and put her in her, and she'd go back into her cage, and yeah,
All right.
just to like.
So you found these little rat sized animals to be smart.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
They are. They're very intelligent.
So I like that. I like a smart pet.
Yeah.
Stupid pets will aggravate you every day of their lives.
If it's choice between them and a hamster and a rat or any of those other rodents, I wouldn't have any of them, but I would have another ferret.
Ferret?
Oh, I don't care. I think I was just making a joke for any small animal that can be domesticated like that. I don't care where it came from. It could be a rat. I don't care.
Yeah.
It as long as it never bites me, and it understands where its food and its its food comes from. That's good enough. I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there are traps in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go get that piece of cheese. Get the cheese. Get the cheese.
Yep.
Honey, you never guess what happened.
Snap your fingers, snap your neck.
Nice. What the F was that? Snap your fingers. Was that a song?
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
By the band named Prong. It's a catchy tune. If you ever listen
Snap
to
your
it.
fingers, snap your neck.
Yep.
That just sounds like they ran out of things to say, and they just started putting them together.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't not work. Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Snap your fingers, snap your
snap
neck.
your neck.
Click your teeth and bend your toes. I don't know. It's weird. Y'all like dogs. They don't shit in the house.
Snort some coke up your
Yep.
nose.
But every other animal does. That's
Yeah.
right. Dogs, of course, you got to train them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even take that friggin' long. They catch on, most of them, even the worst that I've had over the years, they catch on in a reasonable period of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not top tier. I mean, even kids take a while to stop shitting in their diaper. Much longer. Much
longer than a dog does, yeah.
Absolutely. Not even close. You wouldn't stand it from a dog. You'd be confining them to someplace.
We got Ranger when he was 8 weeks old, and by 9 weeks he was housebroke, and he did it himself. He learned to go out the doggy door, and that was the end of it.
I guess some animals don't like to shit where they sleep or eat.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like Art,
Yeah.
Is my microphone working? Can you hear me?
Yes, it is. Yeah, we hear you fine. Yeah.
No,
Art
it
hasn't
is.
said anything the whole stream about my volume, which usually means it's too low. Because he doesn't want to hear me. And I get it. You're not the only one.
Mhm.
Anyway, so this is the dog lover show at this moment. You love
Dog,
dogs,
yeah.
yeah? Yeah,
Yeah.
Dominic, you love dogs too, right?
I don't have any dogs. I've got 3 cats.
Do you like a dog?
I don't mind dogs. I haven't had one in 35 years.
That was my next question. Have you ever actually had one,
Yeah,
or at least lived with one?
Yeah.
How about that?
I had
Like a roommate's dog or a mom's dog? Or
4. I've had 4 over my life, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't have a problem. I've got a cousin that's got 2, and I've got another cousin that has 1.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, we've had when back years ago, we ended up with a cat that belonged to
That's
my
right,
son
Randy.
and daughter-in-law, and it was okay, but it just and I liked. We'd go up to visit them when they lived up in Kansas, and they were always having kittens up there, and so I'd play with the kittens and think, But then I had a friend. I went over to his house one day. They had like 13 or 14
You
cats.
had a friend?
I had a friend, yeah.
Yeah, the kind of friends he had have 13 and 14 cats.
Well, his wife did, and it was so bad. And I was putting in a
Oh, blame
sound
it on the
card.
wife. He lives there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but continue.
Right. Well, I never understood that one, but anyways, I was putting in a sound card, and when I opened up the computer, it was so full of cat hair, and there was cat hair everywhere. Oh my God, it was just packed.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
spent the whole
At
afternoon
least it
working on.
wasn't full of roaches, dead roaches.
yeah.
No,
That
but it
would
was
be
full.
really bad.
Yeah,
That's
well,
another thing.
but
So
it was,
I can't even go into a cat owner's home for any period of time.
by the end
And-
of the night, I went to drive home. I had to pull off the side of the road and have Judy come out and kind of guide me back because my eyes swelled shut.
Yeah.
And from that point on, anytime I get near a cat, it's neat, and their nose starts running, the eyes start getting.
No, you definitely have a cat allergy. More everybody, not everybody, but there are people that have a cat allergy that don't even quite realize it because they're
Right.
on the edge. It's all varying degrees and how it affects you,
Yeah.
And it has to do with the fact that the cat's dander is effing tiny, very, very, very small.
Yeah,
You don't even know it's there. People think they keep a clean house, and they do, but it's mixed right in there with all the regular dust mites and dust and whatever else
Yeah,
that's
that's
in the air.
correct.
No matter how
Sphinx
clean they
cat.
think they keep it. See,
A
that's one of
Sphinx
the things.
cat has no cat hair.
Well, if you live in Florida and it's AC, all the time, although it doesn't run very much depending how you have it, but it still filters the air constantly. And then plus we have these. I'm running 2 other air filters just because I like it. I like the idea of keeping the air clean. Plus, my wife still puffs on a cigarette here and there. So, and you couldn't tell,
I couldn't.
Lloyd, could you smell? Well, you wouldn't know. You're a chain smoker. What the hell? Everything doesn't smell like it smoke. It doesn't smell like anybody smokes anywhere. Do you?
I can tell cigarette smoke in people's house, and I couldn't smell it.
Oh well, especially that because it's very faint. Oh, Virginia Slim ultralight menthols are. They're just suggested to be cigarettes. They're like this thin. The tobacco, I'm not sure what it is. When I did smoke and I ran out, I used to actually take whatever butt and she only would smoke this much of it. These things at the time were like $7, and this is like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Get 8-9 drags off it and put it out and leave it there. And so I would hit that because that at least, even though it tasted like shit because it had been sitting there and got cold like that, at least it tasted like something.
Right.
Because a fresh Virginia Slim ultralight menthol is like breathing in an air freshener.
Yeah, no, I never even noticed it. I didn't even realize she smoked until I was sitting out there and saw the ashtray over there by where her chair was at, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot
People do that. I don't know why I brought that up. Oh, I know why I brought it up. People think their house is clean, and I shouldn't talk about it. This is my dad's girlfriend. They had a bunch of cats.
Oh, okay.
They didn't groom enough. Yeah, some of these, certain cats, you got to groom them, whether they fucking like it or not. They get certain times a year to get these undercoats that need to be, and it's good for them anyway. You need to get it done.
Yeah, especially
Don't get those kind of cats. Don't be stupid. It's a lot of work. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, long hair. Persians.
There are people that like that kind of thing, and they should get those cats But if you just want a pet because it's pretty, you got to do a little research, first before you find out what it is you have to do to keep that thing pretty.
I like those leopard cats, but I wouldn't want one because it's way too much. I think they're really
Oh,
high
you mean
maintenance.
ocelots
Yeah.
or savannas? Yeah, those are
Savannas, yeah, the savannas, yeah.
Yeah, they're on the big side. So are Maine Coon cats.
I did do that sometimes.
I've had a Maine Coon.
Yeah, they're big. They get really big.
I had one.
There's filler in ultralight cigarettes, Mark. I'm sorry, guys.
We got a. I don't know if you know. We got a.
That's over on. Yeah.
That's over on Twitch or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, conquering.
Yeah, and there's not much I can do about it.
Right. X9YCL.
What is that?
All in the chat is conquering fuck X9YCL. It's just they
on streamboo.com. Remove the space. I
don't see where this is.
Yeah, well, if you're over here on StreamYard, in the StreamYard, you look
the StreamYard chat, you'll see it.
Yeah, you'll see it in StreamYard.
I'm in StreamYard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 5 or 6 up.
Yeah, about 5, 6 up from the
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
from 5 up
from the bottom.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually usually use the YouTube chat when I talk to people.
Right.
In another window.
I just look at this to see if I can, I monitor, see what's going in on both channels.
Sure, of course. It makes it easier on your eyes too. You glance to the right instead of, I got to go like this,
Uh-huh.
But
I just, when I do StreamYards, I use the
cheap viewers on
pop out chat from YouTube
and
drag it over to cover that.
That's nothing. That's not a bad one. I'm not offended.
No, they're just they're just trying to get you to buy
penis extenders for old men like you. That would be offensive.
Yeah.
But that's who gives a shit? It's perfect. It's just spraying it out there. Didn't pick you in particular. Like Dominic, spraying it out there. That's right. That's right. So how the heck are you? We don't talk a lot anymore.
Yeah, I'm all right. I just have just suddenly become very I can't think of the right word.
Lethargic or apathetic?
Yeah, a bit lethargic, a bit
apathetic maybe. Like
I think life
it gets done kind of.
Yeah, and especially at this time of year as we're heading towards winter, April and May sort of area, it really does lower the mood, I must say. And I've got to really get excited because I've got a birthday in 3 weeks.
Your birthday?
Yeah.
How old are you going to be? 50, 55?
57.
57? Oh,
you
shit.
child.
Yeah, I know.
57. It was a good year. Well, you look sparkling right now because of that background. Your head right in the middle of that is.
That's why.
You want to be excited. Just look at yourself right now.
Perfectly.
Yeah. What? It looks great. It looks like you're part of that background.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I sit exactly right in the middle.
See, you're excited just to look at it.
Yeah, I know. I can get excited. It's just the weather is a bit of a downer.
Yeah, it'll pass. This too shall pass.
Oh,
yes, it will.
You're not having birthday blues, are you? Because you're another year close to 60.
No. It is what it is. It is what it is.
You come on a panel, you see the three of us, you think, "Oh, I'm closing in on that shit right there."
Well, yeah. Well, my brother's 71, so I basically see what he's doing and think, well, if he can make it, so can I.
That's right. Who knows? Maybe you look twice as good as he does when you're 71. Of course, he'll be a lot older by then. Oh, I mean, when he was 71.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I just hope I don't have the problems he's had when he got to 71. So.
Yeah. Uh, so
Isolated.
Isolated, yeah.
Isolated is a good
Yeah.
word.
You know, you've never talked about any kind of work or whatever. What do you do, Dominic?
I used to be an IT professional.
Okay, I can
But
see that.
yeah, a bit of my photography starting to take off, and I've got people wanting to get photos like this. So yeah, so
cool.
you know the chats we've had, it made me wanting to get into drone work. So I'm basically trying to find work in that, and it's a burgeoning industry over here, and
Cool.
there's a lot of work for it if you can get it.
It's always great to be able to work for yourself. Huh?
Yeah, I've always been self-employed and worked for myself. It seems to run. It ran in the genes, ran in the family.
I did that. I had Renee Consulting anyway, but I had clients, and that's how I supported myself. But never hit it big. It's too much because I was doing everything myself, you know. And some there was clients who would take up so much of your time. Well, I mean, there'd be reasons. You know, I did this one shopping cart site for a very large automotive racing part manufacturer, and they had so much inventory. You know what I mean? And they expect, and instead of paying somebody, they're teaching them how to log in and make the changes themselves. They just kept paying us to do it, so it became a job. But it was a big pain in the cayunes. You know, made money. But, you know, I'll tell you what, things change, arguments happen or whatever, slowdowns, kids, needs for insurance, needs for, you know, and I chicken out after a while. And that's what I do. You know, I get offered for a decent paying job, take it, jump on, end up hating it, of course, you know. And I'm sorry I stopped doing that. It was great. I wish I could have done better, you know. I had good clients. I had some good. I work with people in NASCAR. Did a bunch, but just anybody with a 2-year degree or less showing up. They're web designers or they're server administrators, and like you know because I used to do. I was a joke. I would take care of their servers, and I would install the scripting and run. You know, I did all of it. I did everything. I was the only guy that did any of that shit. One guy dabbled in it, but he started. He was nothing. He's a DJ. He was a very talented guy. He passed away. He actually was on the #1 morning talk show in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area for years. Okay. Yeah, Jay Daniels was a good guy. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just drifting off.
Oh no,
I ran out of juice. It was a long couple of days.
Oh, definitely.
But you know, I mean, you're okay though, right? Everything's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Green Mountain Groaning. Welcome.
Life's like that.
You know, nothing a good blowjob could fix or something. I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
At least for a day or two.
yeah.
Something good to think about for a couple of days. Maybe even a week or two. Now that I think of it,
serotonin and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and a fond memory, fresh.
Fresh, fun memory, something that you can enjoy.
Yeah, I said day or two. I'm thinking more like a week or two. You know,
exactly.
You'll be thinking about it, thinking, "Hey, this could happen again."
Yeah,
but you
motivation to keep it going. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Few and far between is okay if it's always going to be that good. You know, if you have that kind of PMA, you know.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
we know what to get Dominic for his birthday.
Yeah.
Well,
I had some connections down there. Oh, I do. Where's Trevor? I think I have his. You can put him on it.
Hey, we got Don Mudball. Yeah. Oh,
hey, Don.
Donald Doss.
The name of the album is "Cleansing" by Prawn.
Oh, okay.
Prawn.
You snap your neck.
I made up this song because they
are you okay, Art? You got that out of your system now?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah.
No, Mark, tomorrow was going to be scooter day, but I'm going to probably do a little, but not much. Just run it because I ordered a couple of things, and they won't be here tomorrow.
Oh,
So tomorrow we'll be work with the wifey in the yard day. I think we're gonna create an impromptu patio over where my trash cans are at the end of the house.
Huh?
You get the 18-inch. You got to level it and everything. Put a barrier down. That's what I got in the backyard underneath the picnic table. But that's where the trash cans are going to go. Because right now all they do is block the sun so no grass grows there. And it rains and it's mud, and she's trying to pull.
Drag that.
I'm going to do this so that I don't have to take the trash out. Anyway, she's trying to pull sometimes a heavy case. She should just tell me and I would do it. But
yeah,
I don't even know she did it. It just appears down at the curb because that's the way she is. Needs to be done, gone. But she's going to hurt herself. She weighs like 85 pounds or something. And the trash can possibly weigh that with some of the shit that I throw in there. But no, it wouldn't be that heavy. But I'm just saying. But it gets stuck in the mud, because there's no grass. Yeah. So I'm going to put the pavers out, which isn't going to be cheap. So I'm thinking if I want it to be longer in case I want to do anything else. Maybe one day I come home with the scooter. I'll pull it up next to the cans because I don't want to park it in the grass. I don't want to leave it blocking the garage door.
Right.
Let alone the fact that that's really obvious to anybody that might want to say could take it for a ride.
Right. Yeah.
The side of the house, there's actually posts there. I could chain it if I really felt that. If I was going to leave it there.
Did you have to clear out a spot in your garage for it?
No, I can't because of the dogs. The dogs.
Oh, yeah, they got that.
Control my life. I have my Harley's in there on an angle.
Right.
I'm good at it over the years. Like you bump and about that. Okay, cut the wheel and then it just shoots in just right so I can close the garage door. And from there over is like a fence kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gate.
Yeah.
It's an double. There's a couple of them. It's a gate. Right. They usually, they're connected together and they go from one side of the garage to the other.
Those.
Right. And the dogs can come to that far. Garage door is open. They can look. They can yell at people. But they don't. They're not yappers. So I'm here. Come pet me now, bitches. They just want attention. They're the neediest little creatures on the planet.
Yeah.
They're cute.
Yeah.
They are.
But anyway, so I can't because of that. Because we have the same thing in the house. They have they have the area there by the back.
Right.
They can go out the back. If I open the back door, they can go out the back door. That's that area. You were there. That's that area beyond the, to the door to the garage. So I have a doggy door on that door, so I can lock that door. At night, even though it's in a locked garage, I still lock it anyway. And they got the doggy door there, and then make a quick left and right, and to the left of my washing machine is a doggy door I put through the house. I cut into the house.
Yeah.
Right. Which cost me later. The stucco eventually from them in and out and in and out and in and out and there was crap.
Hey Jody,
big old piece came down. I had to pay somebody. I paid somebody.
Hey, Jody.
This wasn't bad. It was a pretty big little section. They did a nice job. They went over the existing good stuff. I mean, did a good job. And they only charged me $400 because they were part of a cement crew that did the cement on the house. I just worked for those guys though. I said, anybody that does stucco, and the one guy, he's working with them. He goes, yeah, I know. And it was him, he came back with his cousin and friend or brother, or whoever they were, but they were done in a day and it looked great. So, so
cool.
Yeah. $400. I was like, yeah, that's all right. So anyway, that's the dog's fault.
That's the dog's
fault.
Blame it on them poor defenseless, cute little fuzzballs. You shouldn't blame them for it.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
The inside of the garage right there, it's got sheetrock. See, now really what I should do is open that up to expose that and support that area with some. I think I might do that. Or they might just die in the next year or two, so they'll take care of that. I don't know. They're like 12 and a half years old, and they still run around at 25.
Those dogs look like they got a lot of life left in them.
Oh, God. They're going to outlast.
Well, we had a situ that it was my daughter-in-law's, and her and my son moved into an apartment, and they couldn't keep it, so they gave it over to her sister, which is where James's house is now. He ended up buying it off of them. But anyway, and they just weren't taking care of him like we thought he should, and neither did Janie. So they ended up taking him, giving him to us.
Right.
He was only supposed to. We figured he was going to live a year because he was already old. And, we thought he'd live another year. He was like 15, so we figured if he got a year out of him, he was good. He
lived to like 23 or something. I mean, dogs.
He lived to 18.
Yeah, of course he
did. Yeah, 3 damn years. That son of a bitch would get up on my side of the bed every night. He'd snap and snarl at me, and I'd have to yell, "Don't you argue with me!" And he'd scoot over and let me in bed. But every night it was a routine. Jump up there, snarl at me, take my pillow. I'd take it back from him. Yeah. But
it's like a little game.
That old bastard stayed alive just to piss me off. I swear to God he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his name was Sammy, and I hated to be honest with you, I hated it when we did lose him. So
what kind of dog was that?
A Shih Tzu.
A Shih Tzu, yeah. No, they're long lifers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, he was actually
if they're active. You know what? Don't get me wrong. It's skewed. It'll say the average is 12. Well, my dogs are past that already, and they're still running around like nut jobs. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's the thing. They easily become, pet monkeys. You know what I mean? They'll sit on your lap. They'll sit with you. They'll just stay in the house and stare at you all freaking day. So my setup is they get plenty of exercise. They come in and out of the house whenever they want, chase as many lizards as they want and as many squirrels as they want.
Right,
and,
right.
Good.
Yeah.
And they can make it,
Charles.
make it back into the air conditioner.
Hello.
Hello.
I meant to tell everybody that Charles may not be on tonight because he had a lot to do this afternoon.
Okay.
So
Charles who? There's Charles here already. Why do we need another Charles? Charles is right there. What are you talking about? Hi, Chaz.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
So did you get all your chores done today, Charles?
Well, we got all our shopping done. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
What'd you get me?
It's grocery shopping, Bill. Anything
Well, I
what'd
eat.
you get good to eat this week?
I've been known to be an eater. Come on now.
Well, what did we get that was good? Well, we got some little hexagonal shaped dark chocolate covered matzo crackers.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
That sounds good. Yeah.
They are really good.
Did you say what did you get that was good? Well, some of the stuff we got is actually pretty terrible, but we got it anyway. Why don't you just say what is he?
Well, that's like a highlight.
Everything we got was good. I'm sorry.
He's talking about what was really good.
That's just a highlight. I mean, the rest of it is just the average stuff. Coffee creamer, deli meat.
Deli meats.
Berries.
Talk about the deli meats. That's a good subject. I like deli meats. Yeah,
I got some Dietz and Watson branded beef bologna. Which is really good.
So you got to curse before you say beef bologna. What the hell? What was that word?
Dietz and Watson.
Dietz and Watson.
Okay.
I assume it's really good stuff because they have 2 last names. That's an indication.
It's actually probably the second best bologna we've ever had. The absolute best is Boar's Head. But
Boar's Head does rock. In everything, pretty much everything they've put out.
Yeah, all the stuff, everything we've ever gotten from Boar's Head just surpasses everything we've ever bought.
The roast beef doesn't have that sort of canned flavor to me that everybody else's roast beef had. It tastes right. It tastes like they just they roasted it, it just cooled down, they sliced it, they gave it to you. You know what I mean? After it drained a little bit. That's how it's it's not preservative taste. You know what I mean? It's like fresh roast beef.
Yeah,
fresh roast beef. And you don't have to worry about it going bad because the shit rocks and you'll eat it like half the time you expected.
Exactly.
It's just what happens.
Pretty much ate it on the way home.
You don't need all those preservatives and shit. Yeah. That's right. Will you survive your trip home? Boar's Head Chronicles.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up Dietz and Watson and see if they carry that in our area.
Dietz and Watson.
Dietz
Tell
and
you,
Watson.
two last names. That's a giveaway. That's a
Got to
quality.
be good. It's got to be
A
good.
lot of pride going on there. Sounds old too. They've been around a long time.
I'm not sure.
Because that's an old school thing to do too. Is name it like that. You know.
Yeah.
It's like we represent quality. These are our names. This is just not some made up Oscar Mayer who may have been a person. I don't know. Was he ever really a person? He probably was.
Probably was.
Besmirching his memory.
By the way, just to let everybody know, it is the top of the hour, and I think Drone Nation is on tonight. So if you want to hear real good drone stuff, go listen to them.
Just the notification as you spoke.
Okay. Yeah, I just looked down there, so I'm in no hurry right at the moment. So
Well, originally in 1883, the founder of the company was Oscar F. Mayer.
Oscar F. Mayer.
Yeah.
F. Mayer.
Yeah.
So,
I'm over the F. Myers. Yeah. Yeah, those effing Myers. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Again, old school thing to do. Name your company, your name.
Yeah.
J.C. Penney's, F.W. Woolworths.
Yep.
Yeah. Donald J. Trump.
Trump Tower.
Yeah. Oh, Trump all over the place. There's a lot of Trump. A lot of things named after Trump.
What's funny.
That's kind of funny.
I find it hilarious that we have a president
in a state that hates him.
That is actually out there hawking watches, guitars, gold tennis shoes.
Trump 28. Trump 28 T-shirts now. Oh my God, it's such a joke. It's too funny. And because he knows what people are going to do. They get all freaked out over this whole thing. 22nd Amendment. His unlawfulness just continues. And meanwhile, he's laughing all the way to the bank because he sold 300,000 T-shirts. I just, it's just, he's hysterical.
He's a great business entrepreneur.
And he is what he is, man. That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Guy who knows how to make money.
Yeah, he does.
Not breaking any laws. No matter what they're trying to say, isn't it? It's all a shit sideshow.
He's even got his own. Bitcoin type thing going on now too. His own.
Got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And that's listen. You know why, right? Allegedly, they'll say it's because of his grandson.
You mean his son?
Son. I don't know.
Yeah.
The tall one.
One of them.
The tall one. That's his son. That's his son.
That's funny. He's giving him credit for winning the election for him at one minute because he talked him into going on the Joe Rogan show.
Oh yeah, Baron. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll say it was his idea. Get involved in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It probably was.
Good, Dad. You'll make a mint, I promise.
Yeah.
Don't you wish? I remember when Bitcoin was nothing. It was like brand new and cheap. And you could actually get a computer with a good video card in it, and then you could put a second video card in your extra slot and bridge them, and you could start mining over your slow ass dial-up internet.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we should have all done that when we were younger.
Yep. Yeah. And even we now things changed. Of course, you couldn't do it with that kind of machine. Now it would make you would lose so much money on power and everything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that back then. I dicked around with it for a minute, but I don't remember the result.
Good point, Mark.
But God, if only you could go in the past, say, hey, schmuck, grab some effing Bitcoin as much as you can afford. What the fuck is that? Buy Bitcoin. And you won't look like this when you get to be my age.
Yeah.
I would have a totally different look. Why do you say that, Bill? I don't know. I just have a feeling I would. I'd probably smile a lot more. I'm sorry, what?
So go back and make yourself like in Back to the Future.
Can you imagine that? I mean, there's certain parts of my life I do this in my head all the time. You know, I daydream. If I could go back, where would I change the road? You know, sometimes I don't like the answers I come up with. Honestly, I try to. It's too honest. It's too honest.
Yeah, I probably would have. Had I had the choice and the ability to, I would have stayed in the military probably for a full 20.
I would have went in. If you want to go back that far, I took the test, took the physical, whatever test it was, whatever, and all I had to, it's all done. I got like I don't know, top 98th percentile. Like I've never had scores that high. You got every answer on the first side of the page right. I'm not. This isn't humble bragging. This is just what happened.
No,
So I could practically, except for the fact I have red-green color blindness, which would, I mean, if I wanted to. I always thought I wanted to be a missile man. I want to work in the missile silos. I don't know why. Would first thing they're going to try to shoot at, but whatever. I just thought it interesting as hell. I was at the NASA in space, whatever.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, right. So, but I couldn't do that. Not with color.
With your colorblind, no.
I must know.
You're out.
Can't be a pilot either.
No,
kind of sucks. Could be on a crew. Be on a crew, I'd imagine. But you know, there's other things you could do. But anyway, the day we were supposed to be sworn, I didn't go. That was it. They called me trying to cut, but you know, no, I didn't swear in, and it was a mistake. Instead, I ended up marrying.
Always those mistakes that we think about.
This all had to do with my second wife.
Yeah,
a lot of things would have been a lot different. That's for sure.
Yeah. As it was, I would have gotten out. I would have been getting out anyways because of the multiple sclerosis, which is service connected anyway. So I would. I had just barely gotten out when I was diagnosed, and so they took me in to look me over, and I said, "Yeah, you got it, and we're going to give you a retirement."
Multiple sclerosis.
Yeah. I asked him, I said, where do you think, if it's service connected, where it came from? I said, there's two options. You pick it, whichever one you like. It's either you were exposed to radiation or the Agent Orange. So, and to be honest with you, I'd much rather have the MS than the cancer that most of the family has gotten from Agent Orange exposure. Yeah. And I know I was exposed to radiation because when we first started the A-10s, we hand loaded the depleted uranium rounds. You know, grab two out of a cannies, you know, and just keep loading up the thing.
I hear that causes the raging erection. That would be your clue that you were irradiated. Do you recall anything like that?
I do. That's how I got Judy.
As a matter of fact. Right now.
I heard.
I got Judy. What'd you do? Raise the flag?
What she said.
I heard that Trump stole the erection.
Yeah, you just
only in China.
Mine. Wow. Yeah, erection.
Yeah, well, there were a couple Congress women that kept saying that. He stole the erection. Yeah,
there's got to be a Chinese comedy routine utilizing erection and in ways that have double entendre for both ways and acting surprised when you don't understand what they're saying. And he's Asian.
Yeah, it looks like.
And I would laugh at it.
May be out of a job here pretty quick too.
Who died, by the way? Why the flags at half?
That was Pope Francis.
Out of the
I kept thinking, why is it
sure.
Not because he's Catholic, but because he's an international. That's how they rationalize
celebrity.
Not celebrity. What are you kidding me? He was a world leader.
He's
a world leader. He's not just a leader of the church. He's a leader of Rome.
Yeah, because it's considered one of the longest running monarchies.
Yeah.
They consider that a monarchy.
Yeah.
Even though they're a theocracy. They're still a monarchy, and he's in the
country might be small, but it's actually pretty damn powerful for its size, and he's in charge.
Because Vatican City is a city,
whatever.
Yes, they're a city state to themselves, and so they have a lot of pull in different countries. You know,
They sell Pope on the rope.
Yeah. Well, they freeze holy water and they sell them as
Yeah.
popsicles.
Popsicles, yep. And
And no, I'm not picking on the Catholics. I have been.
I don't like that Pope and rope thing. It just, that's,
well, if they take
Yeah,
the
that's
Pope's
yeah.
remains
you know
and
what I'm
chop
saying?
them up
No.
potpourri.
The frozen holy water isn't too bad.
Yeah.
My priest
No.
actually thought it was funny and started telling the joke himself.
Mm-hmm.
He actually had a good sense of humor. So when he, after we took our first communion and our first confession, first communion, and was accepted into the church, well, we felt we should get him a gift, and so we went up to the Catholic bookstore, and he'd mentioned that he'd gotten a book called Jokes Priests Can Tell, Volume 1. So Judy and I gave him Volume 2 for a gift.
Oh,
And so the Monday after Easter, that morning, half of his sermon was reading jokes out of that book. Oh, some of them hardcore old, and they knew where it came from.
So he was a heavy drinker then.
Yeah. We went to meet the bishop
from the book.
Yeah.
Of John the comedian.
Yeah. Well,
he opened the wrong book, and look what happens.
Yeah,
So,
we went to
you
meet
gotta
the
mix it
bishop,
up.
and after it was all over, he says, "And by the way, there is an open bar downstairs." And
Okay.
I'm going, huh? Because I grew up Lutheran, Pentecostal, a little bit of Mennonite thrown in there,
Yeah.
and an open bar in a church. And sure enough, we went down to the basement where we got to personally meet
Yeah,
him.
but that was the club. You know what I mean? It was separate from it's in the church, but it's separate from the church.
Yeah,
what I mean? Catholics, they drink too. They don't get on priests for drinking. That's you got to have something. Okay, give them the booze. That's okay. They got nothing else. There you go.
That's called the erectory. Yeah,
You're a kidder. Oh,
but yeah, it was. I got to admit, it was different to see that, and of course, Judy, her mouth is like
it's kind of cool, actually.
I thought it was.
How long that's been going on?
Yeah, I don't know because I'd never heard of it, and then because we didn't have one at our.
Would you be nervous to order a Bloody Mary in there?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
You're right. Yeah, but no, they had a fully stocked bar there, and they were serving drinks, and several of the people in our class that got drink, including our priest. He went up there and got him a Jack Daniels and Coke.
Oh.
Judy looked at me and says, "If you even step that way, I'm going to kill you." So I just ignored it. Of course, I'd quit drinking by then too. So she knew she didn't, but then she just grinned because she knew I wanted to go over there. But yeah, so go up, meet the bishop, and he's got a drink. He's got a mixed drink in his hand and shaking hands with everybody else. It's like, wow. He retired just here about 4 years ago and died about 2 years ago. He lived about 2 years after his retirement.
Well,
just and I don't know who the new bishop is. Some Irish guy.
Named Joey Bishop. Yeah. Ooh, I'm on a roll tonight. Yeah.
You're on a roll, but you're not necessarily on a roll of being funny.
Yeah, not that kind of roll.
It would be better if they were actually funny,
Yeah.
No, not that kind of roll. That was kind of a strange thing to say.
Yeah. Well,
just saying.
That's the Ken Heron side of me, with the stupid puns.
To see this Trump's daughter in 28. Yeah, you could have that. Yeah. And then I'd say 8 years later, then
Barron,
yeah. Barron. Yeah. It'll be another 8 years. So it'll be all Trump until I die, probably.
Well,
oh God, watch the Democrats' heads all explode.
Can you imagine it?
Oh yeah, that would be
impeach.
Yeah, that would be a unique run for sure.
No, I think after 10 years of yelling at nothing happening, they'd switch to a different tactic. They already are. They just went to impeach again. Then they're steered somewhere else because it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, they just had that big
It's all
sit-in yet this
performative, man.
weekend.
They're sitting on steps on the, it's all performative work. They're all swearing like drunken sailors in public because that's what you want to hear, not somebody that knows how to make, knows what the problems are and how to fix them. Let's just swear in public and continue to call the opposition evil and they hate you when they want nothing but to see you live under their thumb or die. I mean, that's basically the speech that they're giving all the time, and that's their argument. So vote for me. And never what they're going to do or how they're going to do it or how things are going to improve and how it's going to help everybody.
Well, and to be honest with you, that was our problem for a long time. We'd always, we'd always shout and scream about it, and then gripe about it because, we lost.
Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's doing it, and somebody's really going nuts doing something. And they all go nuts. He's breaking the law.
Oh my God! He's finding waste.
After the 2020 election, we lost.
What's he doing awake after 4:00 in the afternoon? Oh
yeah, exactly.
I've been here this whole time without my vape. Can you imagine that? That's how interested I am in what you have to say. I'll be back in a moment.
I appreciate that. Go get your vape there. Fill up your glass too. So.
One vision aerial. That would be
Dustin.
Yeah. And we got Gene, Green Mountain Droning.
Yeah, he's been here for a while.
And Steven. Steven's not blue.
Steven.
Do we know Steven?
Do we know Steven?
I think that might be either Knowles or Jeunesse. I think it's Knowles.
We'll click on the link and see what it takes you to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go.
You don't know me. Okay.
We don't know you.
Steven. Okay.
Yeah, One Vision Aerial is not green either. I did not know that.
Steven. Oh, that might be. He's got 10 subscribers, 18 videos. Mm-hmm. He's a big bald guy.
What?
Yeah.
The fuck is that? I come back and hear big bald guy. What the hell's that?
One Vision Aerial's not blue either.
I took care of it. I just took care of it.
He hasn't been around. When was the last time you saw him? Hello.
Oh, a while. It's been a hot minute.
Minute. Yep.
Mm-hmm. There we go. We'll take care of that.
Oh, Steven says I watch Art Show and Bill's show. Oh, well, then it must be good then.
Yeah. I've seen.
Yeah, but that watermark's low. Who hasn't watched Art Show? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you're not distinguishing yourself there, because our shows are that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin said he's been working and stuff. It's been it has been a while since I've seen him in there. So, anyways, I took care of both of them because I recognized Steven's name. I just wanted to make sure that was.
What do you mean you recognize his name? That's like 10 million people's names.
Yeah,
Steven.
There's not too many Stevens show up in any of our shows, in this chat. And I remember seeing him in yours, Bill.
Stevens.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
Boom, chugga like a chugga. Go to channel. Let's see what it looks like. Steven. Oh, yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he's great. Yep. That's Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's got a nice channel. He's got some.
Yes, he does. And I am now subscribed. Hooray!
Oh, shit.
I don't have a lot. He's only got 11 subscribers, guys. So jump in there.
Yeah, I went over there and looked at it and forgot to do that. I saw it.
You guys let us know. Here's a link to his channel. I mean, this isn't a good link. This is to the page I'm at, but it should still work. Bleep.
There we go. Now I'm subscribed.
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
Yep, we're giving him a bump.
Yeah.
The mad bump.
It's Grumpy Bump.
Grumpy
It rolls off
bump.
the tongue. It just rolls off the tongue too, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. Grumpy Bump is perfect. I love it.
Yep.
Austin, Texas, April 9th, 2025. No, he's got cool videos. Yeah. That's good. Sweet. So
Sweet.
very good. All right.
Yeah. So
Hey, you're welcome, Stephen. Thanks for stopping in.
yeah,
Anytime.
I appreciate it. Good for you, Gene. He said he just subscribed too. That
Good.
helped him
Yeah,
out.
no, I'm sure he's a great guy.
Yeah, it's like I was talking to Alexis the other. This group, especially most of us here and the ones that come into our shows, they're like family. They're the ones
Yeah,
a lot
I'd
of them
agree
show.
with that.
And you couldn't get a better community when you're having like with what Alexis going through right now. That's what kept me sane for the years that I took care of Judy, was coming into these shows and watching them and participating in them and doing my weekly show. And it helped me, so I'm all for supporting other people, because we all have bad days. And with this bunch of clowns that we got, it's kind of fun. It's a fun
What,
group
to
of
laugh at
people.
each other when we have bad days?
Yeah,
Is that what I say?
exactly.
I
Yeah.
thought so. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
helps, so
Yeah. All right. How was your day?
how was my day?
No, Art.
Oh.
Art.
Good. A lot of work.
Damn it. Never mind. Lloyd, how was so trying to make fun of somebody who had a bad day.
Tornadoes are in the area. Life is bad. and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, well, there you go. That sounds like shit. That doesn't sound good at all.
No, it doesn't.
Don't get your niggers in a twist.
In a twist, yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
trying to
right,
think of
yeah.
something that goes with it, but it's kind of hard to joke about tornadoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you like being blowed, I guess.
Yeah.
So we were talking about that earlier.
Well, and that's the problem
Yeah.
with living in Oklahoma, is because Texas blows and Kansas suck, and we're stuck in the
Yeah.
middle.
Mhm.
So you smell a lot of Texas ass, then
Yeah.
it's what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
a
much.
shame.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, anything coming out of Texas smells like
It
cow shit.
depends on the ass, I guess. I'm sorry, what?
By the
Anything
way,
coming out of Texas smells like cow shit.
Oh my! Just stop it.
No offense to any of my friends from Texas. Well, I'm from Oklahoma. You take it that for what it's worth.
It's not like they like you either.
Yeah, I know.
For some reason, Oklahoma. Well,
Oregon.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people feel that way about Texas. So it's not just Oklahoma.
Well, we have
I
what
like
was
that.
called
Love Texas.
we had what that was called the Red River rivalry, because that's what divides us, is the Red River.
Yeah.
And when they come to Oklahoma, we consider them wetbacks because they swam across the Red River to get here.
Oh my!
Yep.
But anyways, we have this rivalry, and every year the governors, whichever one loses, they have to do something like shave their head or, pay for a steak dinner for the whole Capitol building.
Mm.
When I made that comment about Texas, I don't mean anything about either of your states. My first ex-sister-in-law was from Oklahoma, and she was a doll. That's all I know about Oklahoma, really, except the tornadoes that I drove near because of when I went out west. I drove out west the first time. There were tornadoes all over because a heat wave hit like the day we left, and we're driving this little bug with no AC. Volkswagen bugs were big in 1980.
Right.
And not a bug. I'm sorry. It was a rabbit. We had a rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, the rabbit. Yeah.
We had a rabbit with a stick, of course, because it's cheaper. And we all knew how to drive sticks back then, including my girlfriend. It was her car, who became my wife, and that's why we went to Arizona. We went on honeymoon. So that was the first time I went through Texas, and I got to see dry lightning in the panhandle of Texas.
Awesome.
Driving through it, you could tell it was a storm because it was, even though it was night, It was fucking night. You know, we're in the West. You should be able to see the stars, but especially in the Panhandle. And then ba-boom, ba-boom, and they're actually hitting. I guess they're lightning rods along the highway, you know, on 40 as we're going across.
Yeah.
And it came a couple times pretty close, man. It was like, whoa, shit. I can imagine. I guess they would have blown all the tires out of that rabbit.
They will after a while. I was driving a 72 Chevy Vega.
Oh,
on base.
You're a brave man.
I know I was, right? So I drive off base because I lived off base. I drove out the front gate, and right out the front gate there's a stoplight, and we had ground lightning going on, you know.
Yeah.
And or dry lightning, like you said, and I stopped there, and all of a sudden, kaboom! Right next to my car. I mean, right next to it.
Yep.
It hit, and it lit up. You know, my lights kind of flickered and did weird things for a little bit, and
it's amazing how wide, thick they can be. Because they were like giant tree trunks to me when they hit. They weren't some electrical zap. They were hair standing up on the back and all that shit.
So I drove the car still started. This car was still running, and I drove another block, and son of a bitch, it hit next to me again. That time my car wouldn't start.
Wow.
My life, and so it's like I got hit twice in one block.
Wow.
The car was dead after that. Yeah, I had to do some rewiring and had to have it.
EMP'd you right out. You had power surge.
Well, I did, man. I was just like, and then it was like 3 weeks later, we had another storm coming in, and I was looking out the front window to see where it was at. And of course, we lived in a mobile home, which was cheap back then.
Yeah.
And right on our lot,
totally safe in a tornado. But please, continue.
Well, 5 feet from our. I was looking out there, and all of a sudden I saw this, like you said, it looks like a huge wide flash, and boom! It took out about a 4-foot chunk out of our yard there where it hit. So I don't get around lightning very often. If I see it, I'll get inside.
Well, let me ask you. You said you guys had motorhomes like that, but did you have root cellars to get out of the storm?
No.
Oh,
not in Arizona.
You're just going for the ride. Oh, okay.
It was in Arizona. We didn't have to worry about that. We had to worry about flooding, flash floods. You know.
Oh, and I hear they'll float for a little bit.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
You have the compressed air tanks, the pontoon. You know, that might work, believe it or not. You have some inflatable pontoon thing, but then you're gone. Where are you going? You got to
like a skirting that pops out.
Anchor.
Yeah. That.
How long an anchor? Better have an adjustable one. It's just pull you right under if it gets too deep.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it out right here.
I got stuck in. I made the mistake of trying to cross one of those down there in Tucson, and I was with I had my little boy in at the time. It's the oldest one from my first marriage, and he was sitting there, and and we'd gone somewhere, and this flash flood hit really, really quick, and I thought, well, I can make it across there. And so I started driving across it, and all of a sudden the water just started rising. We started drifting off the road, and I was gunning as fast as I could until I finally caught a little bit of traction and shot at it. And after that, every time it says, do not cross when high waters, I made damn sure I didn't cross that anymore. That's a freaky feeling when your car starts floating off,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen.
Yeah.
It was called hydroplaning. That's how I wrecked that's how I wrecked my first car.
Right. Yeah, this one, the water was getting kind of deep, and I had that happen here too. We had a flash flood in.
I needed rear tires. You see, I was a teenager, things were expensive to me, and I had great snows, deep ass treaded snows. Leave them on, right? Well, of course they're studded. Now, actually, I could have de-studded them. I mean, it's an effort. But those, I could have just used those years, but they're noisy and whatever else, So I was planning on replacing the bags using retreads. That was big back then, $25.
Oh yeah, I remember retreads. I used to buy them all the time.
Well, I knew I had a little alignment issue, so like an idiot, I put them on the front. I bought two. I put them on the front. Oh, see, they're straight now. Yeah, and you're destroying 2 new tires, although that never did happen because there was nothing in my trunk. It was a Mustang.
Uh-huh.
I had those 2 studded snows in the trunk. I took them out that day. For what reason? I don't know. There was no reason to. I was like, God, there's no room in my trunk. I had no plans of putting anything in my trunk.
Right.
Ever. You know. So of course I took them out, and that's the night I hydroplaned. Yeah.
Yep.
That white weight might have made a difference. I was only going 50 on a flat highway, Route 17, Ramsey, New York. You know, wasn't hot dogging it at all. You know, that was speed limit. You know, or it was 50 or 55. Might have been 55. Whatever it was, there was a speed limit. That's what I was doing. Mm-hmm. But Ramsey, that section through Ramsey, actually, Route 17 is much larger in other areas. That section there, it don't get me wrong, it's probably 8 lanes in some spots, 6 lanes, whatever. But it has lights. You know what I mean? There's and towns and slowdowns. You know, in the country area, as it's in New York, and then it comes back into North Jersey, and that's even more country-ish. But that's when it opens up a little bit because there's nothing. There probably is.
You know, one thing I did bring up about Muskogee today, we have finally got into the big town. We're like getting to be a real big city now, like Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Because as I was driving through the strip mall today, you know, the shopping center, and I happened to look over there by is between Harbor Freight and the Goodwill. There was a bum laying there, you know, a homeless guy laying there sleeping against the wall, just like you see on TV with all them big city people, you know. So we finally got our first homeless bum that hang with his little sack of goods and sleeping there.
You're a sanctuary city now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and as a capitalist, I see what he's doing, because if he's going to be, he's going volume. See, he's sitting in front of 2 stores, great stores, by the way, great places to shop, very cheap. So he's getting the lower income rung of the populace, which is numbers.
Yeah, numbers.
Numbers. Yeah. He's going to get less per person when you calculate it all out.
Yeah,
but it's going to more than make up for it.
Yeah, the money they save at Harbor Freight or at the Salvation Army is going to, you know, they can donate that to him.
Less of a chance of being kicked off the property, you know.
Yeah, Salvation Army are doing. Harbor Freight, they're too damn lazy, so they just let him sit there. They'd be
worried you were breaking some kind of law. They don't know, and they don't want to know. As long as he's not bothering anybody, you don't walk up the door. You don't walk in front of the door of the store and catch the customers coming in and out.
He was not in front of either store. He was right in between the 2 of them, sleeping at his little sack of stuff. Now we do have a panhandler law here in Muskogee. They have to wear, you know, they have to wear a vest and identifying themselves as homeless, and they have to have a sign.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
Yeah, and they give permits for that, so they can do that.
Good.
In 8th grade, I was on the crossing guard. I had a vest just like this.
You can buy them at Harbor Freight for about $3.
In my jeans.
Well, speaking of being bumming and sleeping, I gotta go. So have a great evening, guys.
All right, Art. Yeah. We're still live. I haven't shut it down yet. So
all right.
You have a good one, Art.
Good night, Art.
All right. Go to bed. Thought he'd never leave. I mean, I was just waiting and waiting.
Yeah. And look, Lon is in the chat. Welcome, Lon. Now that the show's
pretty much winding up.
Yeah, we're already 30 minutes past our end time. So, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it right now. Although this has been fun, we can hang out.
What up, Lon?
Yeah,
he's getting engaged in a conversation, and we're just about to cut him off, just like that.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we can hang out for a few more minutes. Let Lon in.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, well, I was going to let Lon insult Art. Well, that's hard to say. Lon insult Art. Some more.
Survive.
You'll survive. All right.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. That would be
guys.
That would be my first inclination.
Thanks for hanging out with us and listening to our silliness and discussions of life in general and nothing that matters and stuff like that. So I will see all you guys probably Thursday night on Art's 3 Conservative Gimps and again on Bill's show next Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. I might invite you. We'll see.
You might. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever change that damn link, I won't be able to get in. So you'll have to send me a new one.
I actually have 4 links that I could
Oh,
just.
do you? Well, I
Yeah.
just can't.
You'd
Well,
have to go
I had
digging
like
around
3
and
of them.
find an old one.
I kept trying till I got one. Like
Maybe
oh, okay.
crazy thought. Make a new studio. It takes a whole
Yeah.
45 seconds.
Right. Exactly.
You basically copy everything into it. So
Anyways, folks, I'm going to say good night to everybody. Y'all have a good. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next Monday. And
Good night,
there we
folks.
go. Good night, everyone.